Tamron recently just announced a lens for Fuji X-Mount 18-300. Wow, 18-300. Let's find it out. Hello, my name is Vitas Tan and welcome to my video for an unboxing and mini review for this Tamron 18-300 f3.5 to 6.3 VC lens. Let's open it up and see what it has to offer to us. This lens is not as light as I expected, but still, it's not that heavy that it could tire you down. First thing first, we got to understand that this is a super mega zoom lens. It's so multi-purpose. It gives you a nice wide angle to obtain images with strong perspective effect, able to capture a striking wide scope of a scene, and it also has the ability to grab an image from an incredible distance. It also comes with a lens hood. I guess you know that the purpose of lens hood is it could cut down the stray light that might interfere with your images. But I must say I am a non-lens hood photographer. I find it pretty distracting, and as a matter of fact, I even like to include a certain amount of flare to create some effect if I have a chance. Of course, it's solely personal preference. You could always leave it on the lens. Now I am going to take this lens mounted on a Fuji XD 200 for a street walk in Klang Old Town to do some test shot. It's about 5 PM. It is a diffuse day. I am setting the ISO to 200 with A mode, the aperture priority. The focusing is great. This shot was done with 34.5mm focal length. The zooming is smooth too. Let me try to zoom closer to the moss at 93mm. Great! Let's zoom in to the furthest 300mm. Wow, amazingly sharp. All these images were done between 80mm to 300mm. Focusing is pretty smooth. Now let's try to do some indoor low light photography. I'm going to make some attempt on this old watchmaker. The light is low here. I have to increase the ISO to 3002. The shutter speed goes to 1/30 of the second. Let me try and see how it turned out. Wow, it's sharp and no handshake. Now, some might be asking, is ISO 3002 a bit too high? Will it incur too much noise? Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty okay. In this age and time, the sensor quality of camera has been improved tremendously. Furthermore, for street photography, a little amount of noise added to the images wouldn't do much harm. I wouldn't mind sacrificing a little on that for a good storytelling image. Here's my few attempt on zooming closer. The result is good. The depth of field is shallow, but the focusing area is sharp. I must admit, I did struggle a bit occasionally while zooming at that range. But considering shooting in low light situation with a super zoom lens like this, I have to say that This is really out of my expectation. I will not have much to complain about. Yes, another thing about this lens is VC, vibration compensation feature. I found that those shots I made on the watchmaker, some went to 180 of a second, 160 of a second, and even 130 of the second. That's really quite cool. It means the VC could sustain up to 3 to 4 stops. But of course, I would recommend you not to allow the shutter speed to go too slow. Something about 1/100 of a second and above is much safer. Do keep an eye on this. Now this is a good situation to use such lens. Cats are very sensitive to people. Now I could zoom in from a distance without scare them away with this super mega zoom lens. The telephoto lens gives you a narrow angle of view and keeps unwanted subject out of the frame. For your information, this cable is the cable for external recorder. I use this to record the images I'm taking. It's approaching 6:30 PM. Now the sky is getting much darker. I need to increase the ISO to compensate for the shutter speed. I made a few attempts on the distant subjects to see how it's like. Well, to shoot in lower lighting situation, the focusing does get affected more. I really did miss a few bits, but I'm pleased to get a few good straight shots here and a few of my portrait images done by my assistant. The bokeh effect for a lens like this is quite a surprise to me. As for the video of this lens, it's pretty okay. Just like the camera, it has such great option to go from wide to super telephoto that will give you the convenience to deal with the both ends. But we shouldn't be expecting the best focusing to track the subject running around. We need to understand the characteristic of this lens and knowing how to utilize the best out of it. Conclusion: for this super mega zoom lens, I noticed that in wide angle, there's some distortion around the edges, but I would say it's expected. You can't expect the best of the best from a lens like this. As for the color and the tones, I'm pretty amazed with the outcome that I could pull up from the raw files. The image sharpness is much sharper than what I expected too. A lot of people want a lens that could do everything from wide angle to super telephoto so that it's convenient for them to travel everywhere without the need to carry a bag of lens and the trouble of changing lenses. If you're one of those who are into this could be a good option for you to consider for a price range of 3,000 plus only. Having said that, if you are growing professional photographers, I would not quite advise you to go for this. It would be more advisable to consider other Tamron lenses such as 28 to 75mm f2.8, 17 to 70mm f2.8, or 70 to 180mm f2.8. If you are into professional field, you would really need to look at the things from a different perspective by investing on higher end lenses. And you will be enjoying more benefit for sure in many aspects. Alright folks, this is an unboxing of Tamron Mega Lens 18 to 300mm from Vitas. Let me know down below on how you think or what's your question about the lens. Thank you so much for watching. See you again. Bye.